In my hands, I hold one of my favorite projects I've ever done. And it's my favorite because it's for somebody very special. So, Liz, if you're watching this and you feel like having a surprise, you might want to go away for now. You could check your mail in a couple days. So this is the sketchbook that I made before I went to Iceland, and I made it with this intention, which was to make a sketchbook that celebrated the wedding that I went to. So I thought it would be fun to walk you through everything that I decided to put in this journal. I'm so glad I did this. It did take me a lot longer than I thought it would, but I'm glad I did it. Even before we showed up, there was the eruption. If this doesn't look like a normal volcano to you, I recommend actually Googling what this eruption looked like, because it was not like a pointy top explosion eruption. The next page is dedicated to them getting there. They spent a few days in Reykjavik, and they made sure to meet up with pretty much everyone. We went one night and we grabbed some drinks. Also, these peanuts had this like rice crunchy coating that were so good. The next day they had a tour group that actually took everybody around and showed them a bunch of really neat sights. So I wanted to do a little map to celebrate their journey. And then the countryside is littered with these sheep, which would become an ongoing joke with the people at the wedding. So I wanted to make sure that I put the sheep in there. Part of their journey, they actually stopped at the national park where they have these two tectonic plates you can stand in between. So cool. Their wedding was in Boudir, and it was stunning. Like one of the most beautiful places I've ever been. The next day, it was time to actually get ready for the wedding, and Liz is all about details, and so I wanted to kind of commemorate some of them. She had these sparkly shoes, which was fun to paint, and also she had little presents for like the moms and the dads, and she is well known for her thank you cards, so I wanted to make sure that I featured one of those in there. The attire of a wedding is always such a big deal. I'm terrified of painting people. So I thought this was kind of a nice way to paint people without having to paint people. The next page is dedicated to where they actually got married. It was on this kind of cliffside overlooking the sea. And then there was this cake. This is a traditional Icelandic wedding cake. It is so good. After the wedding, they went off on their own, and the photographer took pictures of them in really neat locations. And I actually did peek out the window at one point, and this is what I saw. So this was their photographer, and this was them, and it was just like, oh my gosh, wow, 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 wow. While they were doing the majority of their pictures, they sent us on this little tour where we got to take a tour of this peninsula, and it was so beautiful. They call this peninsula Mini Iceland because it has kind of all the features all in this one little area. And then later that night, they had a bonfire. And just as a personal note, this is probably one of my favorite ones that I painted from this. I really like the contrast, and I like the light that I was able to get in here. So this one I'm just really proud of. The next morning they went to brunch, and so I know Liz loves breakfast food, so I wanted to put that in there. She also really likes puns, so I made sure to put a few of these in here. Finally, they also went to the Sky Lagoon, and they did just a nice relaxing day. A lot of the rocks I actually made in this book by scraping, using a little bit of a card or something to scrape it, and I thought it worked pretty good. And then after everybody else had left, they went off on their own to northern Iceland, to places that neither of them had seen before, so they could build new memories together that were both new. They went whale watching and did a bunch of cool stuff. So anyways, that is what I painted for her, and I hope she really likes it because I really like it.